Hi everyone, it's another beautiful weekend. This is the Fred Effect, the biggest study abroad content platform. Today is another Sunday and a weekend that we always meet to let you know about the study abroad process, people who have already gone through the process, and for them to share the experience with you and also advice and suggestions on what you could do. So today I'm talking to somebody who is originally from Africa, had opportunity to study in Canada, in Germany, and also in Denmark. Interestingly, he had an opportunity to study in the US, got a visa and all that. I'll be asking him why he, decided to focus on these countries and neglect coming to study in the US on a scholarship. My name is Frederick, the brain behind this, the biggest study abroad content platform, the Fred Effect. I happen to have two master's degrees from the US on a full scholarship. So on this platform, what we do is to share with you ideas and information in a more motivating way on how you can also go about the study abroad process. We know it might be challenging. We know it might be a bit, scary and stuff like that. So what we do is to inspire you that it is highly possible, notwithstanding your circumstance, so that you also know how to go about it. Join us this and every Sunday as we interact with other people who have gone through the process. I call this the experience series because these people have done it, and so they will share ideas and information with you on how you can do it. Later on the program, I would share the link so you can join us live to ask all your questions, and we'll be happy to respond to them. Once you seek clarity on what you want to do, when people have already gone through the process you want to go through, there is no need to struggle. So we are currently live on the Fred Effect YouTube page. We are live on Facebook, the Fred Effect. Follow if you've not done so. We are live on TikTok as well. You can send your questions in advance via TikTok or in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond to them as well. We are also live on Instagram, is the Fred Effect. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also on X or Twitter. You can also follow us on TikTok as well. My name is Frederick. I'm about to introduce my guest and we get started. Let me know where you're watching us from. What is the time at your end? Tell somebody to tell another person that the Fred Effect is on, and it's all about educating you in a more inspiring way on how you can go about the study abroad process. So let's get on. Remember, my team and I are assisting individuals with high school and diploma who want to pursue a bachelor's degree in the United States for free. So if you have such a qualification, all you need to do is to schedule a one-on-one conversation with my team, and we'll take your document, walk you through the entire process and how you can do it. If you want to study a graduate program or a PhD as well, you can also schedule a one-on-one conversation with our team, and then we'll be happy to assist you go through as well. If you are currently preparing for your visa interview, understand that the Fred Effect has a team that for over half a decade we've been assisting people prepare for their visa interview. I've had opportunity to get this visa approved twice, and so what I do is to also guide you on how you can also go about it. So if you have an interview date scheduled, please send a message via Instagram DM. Let us know that you have a date. Share your appointment confirmation. We'll add you to our mock interview platform so that we can guide and assist you get your visa approved as well. All right, so I'm going to bring my guest in and we get started. He's a friend, he's a brother, and he's going to introduce himself. Hi, bro. Nice to have you on. Your microphone is muted, so you have to unmute it so people can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Great. All right. So, a little bit of introduction for my viewers and subscribers who are seeing your handsome face for the first time.
Thank you very much, Fred, and or the Fred Effect. Uh, it's been a wonderful time to also interact with the people on this big platform. So to get it started, my name is Amit, as you already know, and so basically I originate from Ghana, and I studied at the University of Cape Coast in Ghana. And yes, so fast forward, I happened to get myself into this study abroad. programs, and finally, this is why I am. So currently, I'm a PhD student at the Technical University of Dresden in Germany.
All right, so you're currently studying in Germany, and I
Yes.
know that you also studied in Denmark. We are going to talk about all that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Amit. Let's talk about your days back in UCC. So, what was your academic qualification before leaving Ghana?
Yes. So at UCC, I read a Bachelor's of Arts in Economics. So I had my bachelor's in Ghana at UCC before leaving Ghana.
All right, and what time did you start your study abroad process? So, you are done with 4 years of education at UCC. What time did you actually start to work on the study abroad process?
Yes. So the whole dream actually in the at the high school, I happened to study. I happened to have an exchange program to Scotland, where I experienced the system. So coming back to UCC, my brain was already conditioned for scholarship applications and to study abroad. So whilst in the process, I was positioning myself strategically. And after our graduation in 2018, so during the national service where I served as a teaching assistant at the University of Cape Coast
Right.
was when I started to actually scout for schools and then apply. Of course, the environment around us as teaching assistants, we were all looking for schools outside. So that is how the whole game started.
All right. So you would advise people to begin when they start their national service, or what would be advice to people who want to study abroad? I'm currently in level 400. I'm currently a national service personnel. What time do you advise that people start their process?
Yeah, thank you. For me, our advice that you start early because back there I came to UCC already experiencing the environment in Scotland. So I came to UCC with my mind open that with some effort I'll be able to get back to Europe, or yes, to get back to Europe. So I already had that kind of framework in my mind. And because of that framework, my studies and everything was channeled into it. And currently, if you are in level 400 or level 300 or even your national service, the whole thing has to do with information. And once you are blessed to be on the study on the Fred Effect platform where you are being endowed with a lot of information, I think it is the right. They don't wait until you complete. And when even you have completed and maybe you are doing your national service, it is the right time for you to kickstart it and then looking for programs and your way out.
Right. So let's talk about which universities did you apply to. So I know that you were supposed to come to the United States with me. So what countries were you applying to as at the time you were national service personnel?
Yeah, thank you. So at the time that I was a national service personnel, I think I applied to only three. I applied to three schools. That is, I applied to Ohio University, where I was actually supposed to go with you, and then I applied for another school in Canada, and the school is called Lethbridge. And then I applied for the Erasmus Mundus program. So
All right.
these were the three schools that I applied for, and yeah.
It means that you were not putting your eggs in one basket. You were targeting the United States. You were targeting Canada. You were also targeting the Erasmus, which is in Denmark as well. So let's you were a national service personnel. You are actually earning 559. How were you funding this process? Was it not expensive? Did you have to apply to some schools for free? How did you do that?
Thank you, Fred. I think for the sake of the audience, but you know me much more better. During our national service days, yes, we were getting 559. But, for me, it's worth it that I actually squeeze to save a lot of my national service, the money I make to apply for schools. Yeah, almost all the schools that I applied for, they were not for free. The number one was I applied to Lethbridge, and Lethbridge, I think at the time it cost around $80 at the time. And I applied for Erasmus Mundus at the time, it cost 100 euros at the time. But for Ohio University, I happens to get one TA, like one of our predecessors already there by the name Shaibu, who happens to pay the application fees for me. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Shaibu. Shaibu also have a YouTube channel. And for you to know Ametus very well, Ametus has a channel that based on the experience he has gone through, getting admission and a visa to study in the United States, going for the Erasmus scholarship, studying in Germany, Denmark, and also going to Canada. What he does is to share his experience and the processes he went through in order for you to guide you to also navigate the path if you are interested in studying abroad. So I mean, let's talk about your YouTube channel and tell people about it.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I will start by saying that all thanks to you, Fred Effect, because you were very like instrumental for me to create this YouTube page. You were always on my neck. I noticed you have a lot of experience. Why don't you create a platform to share your experience? So basically, the Study Abroad Hub, I'm the brain behind it, and I share more information on how to apply for schools abroad. I focus on Canada and also in Europe, how to place your application before other applicants, the tricks and the strategies that you would need to be able to succeed in your study abroad journey. So basically, that is what I do. And also, I look at how people can also write this kind of TOEFL and what have you for free. And there are actually a lot of organizations in Africa that are aim at helping Africans or helping people around the world to write this kind of TOEFL and GRE for free, which I've created a content on that on the page as well.
All right, so you can visit YouTube and check out Study Abroad Hub. So Study Abroad Hub, STUDY, and then space abroad, ABROAD, and then a space HUB. My brother Ametus is behind this wonderful platform. Please subscribe and follow the information that he shares over there. But coming back, Ametus, did you sit for any form of exams? Did you write it? TOEFL? Did you write GRE, GMAT to be able to apply to scholarships in and admission in these three countries?
No, at the time I didn't write it. It wasn't also deliberate. It was also because the financial situation at the time, like didn't permit me. I didn't have the money to write this external exam. So basically what I did was to target schools that do not take GRE, the GMAT or the TOEFL. So that was the strategy that I employed.
So that what it means is that it's not compulsory for people to sit for any of these exams before they apply for admissions, right?
Not at all. It's not compulsory because, yes, we must admit that there are some schools that have made it compulsory, but there are so many schools out there that do not take the GRE or any of this kind of external exams. And once you are qualified and once you have the minimum qualification, you just put in the application and then retreat and wait for your response. So
If
if you don't have the GRE, it shouldn't be a limitation at all.
Right. Personally, I did not sit for it as well. So if you are just joining us, you're welcome. I'm talking to Amatus who have had opportunity to study in Denmark, in Germany, and also in Canada. He's currently in Germany, and he had a visa to come and study in the United States. I don't know why he decided not to come. So we'll have a conversation about that. He had a scholarship and the visa ready, but he decided to opt for a different country. So this is the biggest study abroad content platform. My name is Frederick, and I'm the brain behind the Fred Effect platform. So do us a favor by subscribing. Type your questions in the chat. I'll be happy to read them, and Amatus will respond to that. Later on, I'll share the link so you can join us live in the studio. If you have any questions for us to address, people have gone through the process. They made mistakes. You don't have to make the same mistakes when you can check the examples of people so that you can direct your path very well. So moving on, Amatus. So how has studying abroad changed your life? You've been to Denmark, you've been to Germany, you've been to Canada, you got a visa to come to the US. How has studying abroad changed your life so far?
Yeah, Fred, this is an experience that you cannot quantify. It's like the economists will call it the economic externalities. I mean, the positive externalities you cannot quantify. It has changed my life to like very much. I quite remember when I actually landed in Denmark for my first master's. The kind of environment, the atmosphere, my perception about life, my worldview, and perception about things drastically changed, and I got to realize that there are a lot of things out here. Even let's just even hold the scholarship and then the stipends that you receive constant, the kind of knowledge that you stand to benefit from in the international environment, my brother, is a whole lot of package that I think one should experience. And moving from my first master's to my second master's in Germany, it's like wow, because this is a different country with different people altogether. You get to experience a lot of things that shapes your worldview, your perspective about issues, and it gets to a point when you are discussing, you really look at the kind of knowledge you share. You are like, wow, this wouldn't have been possible. I'm not saying that knowledge is not shared in many parts of Ghana or in Ghana, but getting this kind of diversity, diversity in perspective, in opinions, it's really, really, really good.
So let's talk about what actually ignited your interest to study abroad, because you were a national service personnel. You could have done your masters in UCC easily, or University of Cape Coast easily. Also, very brilliant student. You could have easily gotten a job. But what ignited your interest to want to study abroad after your national service?
Yes. So for me, the dream to study abroad actually didn't really started at the national service. I used to have a slogan that scholarship is better than relationship on campus. So, so
No, I want you to repeat that again, and I want to know if
yeah,
people agree. You said scholarship is better than relationship.
relationship on campus.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that is the slogan that guided me through the university.
Ametis is
And
married now, so he can say all that. So,
yes,
will your wife be happy to hear this? Scholarship is better than relationship. Okay.
That is at the time. I'm not saying currently, the time, at the time, So I actually have that kind of idea to study outside the country. Partly also because of financial reasons. Because if I look at the money that I will invest into doing masters and then climbing to the PhD in Ghana, honestly, that money wasn't there. So the only way to actually free myself and then to engage in the kind of a dream that I have for myself to study to the PhD level was to actually look out for scholarships and then try my best to get myself to where I wanted to go. So that is one of the factors that motivated me to actually go through all the pain and then all the kind of difficulties that associated with this kind of journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about how much you spend. I want to know if people agree with us. Type in the comment section if you agree that scholarship is better than relationship. All right. So, Amit, how much do you think you invested in this whole process? Talking about application fees, and I know that you went through the entire U.S. study abroad process to even get your visa. It was just left for you to leave, and then come to the U.S. So, how much did you put into this whole process? If somebody is watching us, how much should they estimate to put into the process?
Well, for me, that is a big question. For I think at the time, the Erasmus application cost me around, let's say, 100 euros at the time, which
Right.
at the time was around 600 cities.
Mhm.
So if you actually, let's do a rough calculation, multiply six by the three schools that I applied for, it's going to give you, I think 6 by 3 is going to give us a figure like 18, which is around 1,800 at the time. And then coming to the coming to apply for the US visa, I think at the time I should spend around 3,000 or something. And I remember I got it when actually my US visa got approved was the day I went for the US visa and I stepped out was the same day that I received a call from the Erasmus Secretariat that I've been offered a scholarship. At that time, I've depleted all my reserve, my money, and everything. And shout out to my wife, then my girlfriend, who stepped in and was like, "Yeah, if you need this, then I'm going to help you get your visa." So that is how come that. So like the whole process, I think.
So as at then, the relationship became better than the scholarship. Eh?
As and then, without a relationship, it would have been difficult.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yes. So for me, I think one should just prepare enough in terms of the application fee and then also to finance the visa and also the flight tickets. That is if, yeah, but I think the first thing always, I believe that the first thing is to apply and then get the scholarship ready. And once you get it, the rest will come. I will advise people that they shouldn't consider that whether if I after the scholarship I have to do visa application, I have to take plane ticket and other stuff. If you consider all these amounts that you invest, it will discourage you. Number one, when you get to the sea, you will learn how to cross the sea. Apply, get the scholarship or get the admission, and then the rest you will know how to survive it.
I mean, I like the wisdom you're pouring today. When you get to the sea, you shall cross it. So when you're working on the process, take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
For a time, you need to focus on only gathering your documents. That's what you need to focus on. The time will come where you have to focus on getting money for application fees alone. If you decide to estimate the entire process, it would overwhelm you and you may not even start. So I remember when I was working on my process, I didn't know there was a time I was going to pay visa application fee. I didn't even know how much it was going to cost me, right? And then also service fee came. I was like, there's something like service fee. I didn't know that, right? So we take it one step at a time, and when you get to the sea, you shall definitely cross. I agree with you, Amitus. So now let's talk about you know what programs you applied for in these countries. So you majored in economics, which is a social science. So you had a background in what? What did you study in UCC with?
So I studied for economics in UCC, and that is I did when I entering into UCC, I did
Mhm.
geography, economics, and sociology,
Okay, and
and
as time
then
goes on, you
yeah,
drop
as time
the
goes on, I dropped the geography and I
okay.
focus on economics and sociology. And then when I got to the level 400, I decided to major economics.
All right,
So I became so focused on economics in my level 400.
all
So
right.
that is why I graduated with the Bachelor's of Arts in Economics. Yeah.
Great. So in any of these countries for the Erasmus scholarship and then applying to Ohio University, what programs did you apply to?
So in the Erasmus Mundus program, I applied for MSc in Forest and Livelihoods,
Mhm.
and then MSc in Tropical Forest Management.
Oh,
That
okay.
is for the Erasmus Mundus. And then in Ohio, I applied for economics. I think it was MA Economics, which I was given specialization on econometrics. And then I applied for MSc Economics at Lethbridge University.
All right.
Yeah, so for the Erasmus, it was like very different from, yeah.
Yeah, right. So, what other universities? So, people are watching us. What other universities apart from Ohio University that you apply to in the US?
So I think in the US, I applied to Ohio University. I think that was the only school I applied
Oh,
because actually I was quite skeptical about the United States.
okay.
Yeah. So I remember between me and Shaibu, it was like a give and take thing.
Yeah.
I'll write a motivational statement and ask him to read through. He'll read through, change from Europe to US, and then I'll change it back. And it's like, okay, then let's settle it. I'll pay for the application fee in the US.
All right.
So my whole attention was in Europe and then in Canada. So in for US, I only applied to the Ohio University, which I happened to get it.
What would you say is the difference between applying for any of these scholarships from Lethbridge, Erasmus, and then Ohio University? Which was easier? What was the difference?
For me, applying to the US was much easier.
Right.
Was much easier because I remember for the Erasmus, they asked me to submit upon submitting all the document. Then the last thing they required from me was that I should prove that I was currently in Ghana at the time. Then I was like, these people, what do you mean? If I'm not in Ghana, how can I like just tell you that I'm in Ghana? And so I think for the Erasmus sometimes they can be a bit trickery and they can be more demanding, but for the US it's pretty straightforward. For Canada it's also pretty straightforward. But for the Erasmus, but after you get the scholarship too, you get to know that it's actually worth it. It's actually worth it.
All right. So let's talk about why you got a scholarship. You got admission into Ohio University in the US. You got a scholarship. You have your visa. Why did you decide not to come?
Well, I think to answer that question or to start, I owe you an apology to the world because I remember we all planned to
Yeah, to
get to
go to
Ohio.
Ohio, and all of a sudden, Amit
Yes,
said, "Fred, I'm not coming."
and all of a sudden I changed my plan to the Europe. So I think number one, as like I started, it's also my childhood experience because I was very young when I got the exchange program even at the high school to Scotland. So I think the European environment, I got like encultured into the European environment at a very early stage of life. So my mind was very much more on Europe. So that is when I got the offer. I think that was one of the things. And one of the things that largely shaped my decision was also the scholarship package that I received because Erasmus they just offered me a crazy package at the time. It was around 49,000 euros for the 2 years. So it was just a crazy package that I think I couldn't like resist. Yeah, so it's also partly because of the scholarship I received.
All right, that's awesome. You're still here. I'm talking to Amatis. Amatis had opportunity to study in Denmark, Canada, and also got a scholarship to study in the US as well. So he's sharing with us his journey, his experience. He also has a YouTube channel. It's called the Study Abroad Hub. So if you go to YouTube, kindly search for the Study Abroad Hub. What Amatis does is to share his experience, his journey with you, so that you can take advice, and also some of the schools he's mentioning, you can apply to them as well. So in which university are you at the moment in Germany?
So currently, I'm at the Technical University of Dresden. It's called the Technische Universität in Dresden, and I'm at the Institute of International Forestry and Forest Products. So if I will even take this opportunity, I think currently their MSc program is currently open for they are receiving application for the MSc program, which I've done a comprehensive video about it on how to apply for the program. I've actually taken my time to go through a step-by-step process on how to apply and then succeed in the program. So you can check out for that video.
All right, great. So later on, I'll give you the opportunity to come on and then interact with Amitis, ask him all the questions and all that. So Amitis, a lot of people, as we speak, are preparing for the visa interview. You've mentioned that you had a partial scholarship to come to Ohio University. So you had the visa approved so easily, and that was your first attempt. What do you think will be some of the advice you can give to anyone who is preparing for a US visa interview? Maybe without a scholarship, with a partial scholarship like you did.
Yes. So for me, I think one thing we should keep in mind is that the consulates there, they are a group of psychologists and sociologists who understand gestures, and to a large extent, some of the gestures that you exhibit during the process also affect it. So for me, I think that once you have your admission letter, you have your bank statement or your scholarship letter, and you have your, let's say, the I-20, there is nothing to be afraid. And besides, you have the Fred effect platform that also guides you on the possible questions that you are likely to be asked. So I think the rest left is for you to be very confident on the day. You don't have to put on a straight face, and also don't have to also turn the whole process into, like, let's say, a comedy section. So we just have to be in the balance and then just go straight to answer the question. I know some people, sometimes when you ask them questions, they answer the question and they attempt to impress, they open up a vent for more questions. I think for me, the tool I actually used was that you ask me the question, I answered it straight as it is. And then if you decide to ask probing question, yes. But I think largely it's also your experience, because largely it's your confidence, because if you lack it, then all your preparation at the day you might end up like, not delivering well.
All right. So you had the cost of attendance for high university. I remember very well, was like around 32,000. You had merit scholarship or a graduate recruitment scholarship of about 16,000. So the 14,000 deficit, who was covering for that? And would you mind, if you remember, sharing with us some of the questions the visa officer asked you, how you responded that eventually got your visa approved?
Yes. So upon getting there, I think the first question was, yes, who are you and why are you here? So my response was, I'm Ametu's a graduate of the University of Cape Coast. I did economics and I happens to get an admission and a scholarship to the Ohio University. And that is why I'm here to apply for a visa to go for the program. So the consular went further to ask me that, did I write a GRE? And I'm like, no, I didn't write a GRE. Then he's like, Ohio University is a very big university, so why will you get admission into such a school without a GRE? Then that was the opportunity for me to prove myself. So I just gave him my transcript, and I was like, look at my transcript. I did economics, I did statistics, I did econometrics, and I came out with beautiful grades. And I think to the wisdom of the program committee or the committee, I merit the admission and then the scholarship. So he just looked at me and smiled and was like, okay, so in your submissions, you said you have a scholarship and the deficit, who is going to pay? At the time, I have the bank statement of my uncle at the time. So I was like, yeah, my uncle has agreed to pay the deficit. So I just handed over the bank statement, and it was a very brief moment, very, very, very brief.
How do you think what is the difference between the German study permit or visa application process compared to the US process?
For me, I like the US process because the US process is direct.
Right.
You know, if you deliver, you are confident of whatever you've given, then you receive the results just after you finish, whether they will deny you or whether they will give you the opportunity or they will give you the visa. But for the German study permit application, you have to really prepare your document very, very, very well, because after you've submitted, and even the German visa application, they don't make it look as if they are granting you an interview. Once you submit the document, then informally they'll be asking you some questions. So if you're not so smart to know that that is the interview that they are conducting, you may end up passing comment that will affect you. But after you submit the document to, you have to come home and then wait for 1 month before you hear from them. So I think if you are a vocal person, the what do we call it, the United States visa application is very good for you. But if you're not a vocal person, and maybe if you're not a vocal person, then the German study visa application, you will see it to be good for you. But you should just take notice that once you are submitting the document informally, they'll be conducting an interview. So if you're not very smart to know, then it may end up affecting the process.
Right. Before we will end the conversation, I would definitely give you the opportunity to say thank you to people who assisted you through this pathway. You've already mentioned Mr. Shaibu. Shout out to Shaibu. He's an incredible man and he has assisted a lot of people, and we really appreciate him for that. So Robert is typing the motto of UCC. Asafoje is saying, Senior Matus at UCC, glad to see you here. And then somebody is agreeing with you that I agree with my brother. Scholarship is better than relationship on campus. Okay, so you can also send us your comment in the chat. Interact and click on the like button. It's actually free though, so I would appreciate if you click on the like button. It wouldn't cost you anything, and also it helps people to know some of the good information we are putting out so that other people can join. Please click on the like button. I would really appreciate that. Benedict is saying, and when you get to the sea, we shall cross, and he supports that. Chanda is also saying, Chanda, which country are you watching us from on YouTube? He says, scholarship is better than relationship at campus. All right. So Kiki also agrees with you. Let's move on to our next question. And so, what has been your best experience so far as an international student?
Well, I think my best experience so far studying across Canada, Germany, Denmark, and back to Germany has been the kind of interaction that and the kind of mentoring that you receive from the professors of these universities. Trust me, these guys, they are wonderful people. Because I remember even in Denmark, one of the shock that I had was that I was going for lectures, and actually in Denmark, you have a student card, and the student card serves as a key to the lecture room. So I actually forgot it, and upon getting to the lecture, upon getting to the area, I found that I saw one man seated eating bread and then with his water. And he was like, he looked at me, was like, gentlemen, do you want to go into the classroom? I'm like, yes, where's your card? I'm like, oh, I forgot it. So he just opened it for me. Then in few minutes, he came inside. My name is Matthias. I'm going to take you through this course. Then later on, I checked and this guy was a professor. Then I was like, wow. So you see the kind of humility, and for them, no idea is right or wrong. It's your ability to justify. And when you're even suggesting something that they think is wrong, then they will just tell, what about look at it through this perspective? So they really groom you and then help you to be confident in terms of your academic path and your ideas. So for me, it's just wonderful to be in such an environment.
Right. We'll talk about some of the challenges. So, Sharif is saying very informative. Keep up the good work, guys. Sharif, thank you for tuning in. Jolly is also watching us from Italy as well. You know, um, my brother is asking, did he get admission at Canada with funding? Please ask about that. So let's talk about you studying in Canada, and which university did you actually study in Canada?
I studied at the University of Saskatchewan.
Yeah, so shout out to some of our brothers at Saskatchewan. I don't know if they are still there. Are they still
Yeah,
there?
Latif,
Latif and
Valentina, and yeah,
yeah,
Bright and Co.
Bright
Yes.
and stuff like
Yeah.
shout outs to them. So you studied at University of Saskatchewan. What program was it?
I studied agricultural economics.
Okay, so did you leave Germany, or did you leave the Erasmus scholarship to study in Canada, or you left from Ghana to Canada? How was it?
So I left from Ghana. I left. I actually did a 1 year. I did a 2 years Erasmus Mundus program. Then
Mm-hmm,
after which, when you're about graduating, a lot of thought comes into mind. What is the
mm-hmm.
next step? So I actually applied for the agricultural economics in Canada as the next option if nothing works. So I happens to get it fully funded. That is, I think I was given at the time around 48,000 Canadian dollars for the
Okay.
2 years. So I decided to leave for it. And yes, so during the program, I think after 1 year in the program, whilst I was on the program, because I already have the master's, I decided to also start looking for PhD scholarships. So after the 1 year, I also got another fully funded PhD program in Germany. So I decided to come back.
Oh, okay. So from
Yes.
UCC, you had the opportunity to come to the US, or Erasmus, which is Germany and Denmark. You left
Yes.
for Erasmus. You moved to Canada for a second master's. After a year,
Yes.
you moved back to PhD in
Yes.
Germany. So you've
Yes.
been like an international man moving around like that.
Well, I think so.
All right. I see. So, what has been, if somebody wants to be like Amit, if somebody wants to study abroad, what would be your trick to them? Is it that you had a very good grade? You made us understand that you've not written the SAT, the GRE, the GMAT, and all that. What is the trick? What did you do right?
Yes. So for me, I think in this application, the transcript is already made within the 4 years. Yes. So if you have a good transcript, yes, good for you. And maybe if you don't have really a good transcript, there are other things. I think one of the major thing is the motivational statement. You must really take your time because even at the time I was applying for the Erasmus Mundus, the motivational statement alone scores about I think 25% of the whole grade to be awarded a scholarship. So I think I really pay attention and to be able to write the motivational statement, what I do is that I go to the program webpage and then I look out for some of the courses being offered. Then I look out for some of the future career path that's like you are likely to do after the program. And then I look out for some people, like let's say some professors in the university who are specialized in certain niche. Then I carve my motivational statement around it. So the future career path, I capture it as my career aspirations. In terms of the course, I try to link the course I did with what they are currently doing. So I think it's one of the trick. And then the second trick, I actually delve into this kind of writing a compelling motivational statement on my channel. And also the trick that I also use is that before I apply to any school, I first of all send an email to the graduate coordinator. So what I do is that I combine my CV with my transcripts and certificate. Then I send I'm so and so from this university, and I want to apply for this program. And I maybe attach as my document, and I will ask for your directions. Now, what that message does is that sometimes you may not receive a response, but what actually it does is that it registers your name in the mind of the graduate coordinator or whoever you send the email. So later on, when they are reviewing your document, because they've already crossed your name, they will handle your document because this person has already contacted me and he has also applied. It may not influence their decision, but it has registered your name in their minds in the process. So it's also one of the things. So I think I also made a video on how to put your application a step ahead of others on my
Right.
channel.
Yeah, so somebody is also asking a very good question. I think it's very touching. Michael, watching us on YouTube, is asking that any hope for people with low CGPA. And before you answer that, if you are listening to us, remember later on I'll share the link. You can join us. But for now, click on the like button, type your questions in the chat. We'll be responding to them from time. The whole idea is to share our experience with you and let you understand that it is possible. If Ametus was able to do it, you can do it. If Fred was able to do it, you can also do it. So, Ametus, is there any hope for people with low CGPA?
There is more hope, because the whole point of this study abroad thing is that sometimes we think it is how strong your CGPA is. Number one, if you find out that you qualify, your CGPA qualifies for the minimum criteria, sometimes they'll tell you those with CGPA of, let's say, 2.5 can apply. Once your CGPA happens to meet that kind of minimum criteria, they only judge based on the minimum criteria. After that, there are a lot of things that goes into it. Example, your CV. So if you have a low CGPA, you have a very compelling CV. You've done a lot of internships. You've done maybe a lot of things that are highly correlated or related to the program. This is to show that actually this person, like, has the potential. And also, one graduate coordinator revealed another thing to me. It's like sometimes the judgment is not based on the overall CGPA. For example, if there's a student who happens to score very low CGPA in level 100 and level 200, let's say the first year and the second year, then the third year and the fourth year, the person pull up. It's a sign that this person is a progressive learner. So that when you take such a person, yes, like, he's very resilient to encounter or to equalize any challenges that the person meets. So if the judgment may not base on the overall CGPA, but they also look at the strength that you put in. Now, there can be somebody who have a very good CGPA, but maybe he pull up all the grade point in level 100 and 200. Then you see that in his third and fourth year, he'll be dropping. This is also, it gives another impression that this person is those kind of people who can pull up and then later on relax. So a whole lot of subjectivity goes into this kind of judgment. So if you have a low CGPA, but you are able to craft a very interesting motivational statement, you have a very good CV, then I think your CGPA meets the criteria, like the minimum criteria. Just go on and apply and then wait for the response. Don't let that discourage you at all.
All right. Do not let that discourage you. I love that. So, I mean, I think that we need to make it clear that, some of us who are studying abroad are not more brilliant than our classmates or the people watching us. We just took advantage of some opportunities. It's the only thing you need to do is to apply. It's possible to get some rejections, which is absolutely fine. In life, there are rejections, but it is also possible that you may get the biggest scholarship possible. So, just let me ask you: was it all that rosy? What were some of the challenges? Did you get admission into all the schools you applied to? Were there some denials? Share something with us.
Fred, I would like by saying that there has never been a hunter who is never pierced by, like, let's say, who is never pierced in the process of maybe hunting, by tons. Definitely there are a lot of challenges. I remember that I applied for this program in the Lethbridge program that I applied for, or the Lethbridge school that I applied for in Canada. I received a very beautiful rejection letter. And I remember that night I cried a lot. But yeah, it's all part of the game. And even beside that, I just told you that I had a full scholarship for my PhD here. I'm only sharing with you the one that I've succeeded. But believe me, there are a lot that I receive rejections for. But at the end of the day, you know what you are looking for. And trust me, if you really commit to overcoming these kind of challenges and you happen to land on one, the return on such an investment is, like, is unquantifiable. So yes, we receive rejections, but you don't let that discourage you. You proceed until you get what you want.
Yes, we receive rejections, but we don't let that discourage us until you get what you want. I'm enjoying the conversation. I mean, Ametis is a good friend, so we have conversation, but I'm really enjoying how inspiring you are. I don't like it when people make the whole process sound intimidating that, I was able to do it, but you cannot do it. You because I had I wrote GRE, you have to write GRE to do it. Because I had a highest grade, you should have a highest grade. No, it doesn't work like that, right? So we need to let people understand that the whole process is there are several ways of traveling abroad, but I think your education is the easiest route anybody could use, and a lot of people have done it. So can you can also do it. It's
Yeah,
highly
Fred, let
possible.
me just even chip this in. When I was applying for the Erasmus, I think there were some people around me. I think they have very strong and very, like, yes, very good CGPA, and they tried, but they couldn't succeed. So when I was applying, they were like, you have this CGPA. We had this, we tried, we couldn't succeed. So it would be better for you to apply for other schools. But I believed, like, my gut feeling and everything was telling me to apply for this program and I stand a chance. So I was like, okay, yeah, it may differ. So I decided to try my luck, and I had it just like magic. So for me, like Fred said, yes, it's very important. Sometimes others may go through some challenges and they decide to use that kind of challenges as maybe like to intimidate others, and others will go through the challenges but will use it as a motivation. And for me, I think it's individual basis, it differs. So the fact that somebody tried with maybe a higher CGPA in a certain school and couldn't get a scholarship doesn't mean that if you try with a low CGPA, you wouldn't get it. It has happened to me. People tried Erasmus with bigger CGPA than what I had. They failed. I tried with the least that I had and I got it. So it's all just once you meet the minimum criteria, just proceed. Don't listen to anything.
All right, don't listen to anything once you meet the minimum criteria. So I made to it's how challenging is studying in Germany, because Germany they speak German. Do you have
Yes.
to necessarily learn the German language before you can study in Germany?
Not at all. Not at all. There are many programs are offered in English, including the one that I'm currently taking. So you don't need to have like a German language skill to be able to get it. And I think even currently, like from this month, this is the peak of the application season, and I've done a video on how to find even English speaking universities or how to find universities. So once you check, there are some that actually, yes, you start from the first year, and then the second year, maybe they will introduce the German. But there are a lot of them that is purely English. So you don't have to worry about that.
All right. So there are purely English courses in Germany that you can also apply to. So it's possible for you to study in Germany. So currently you can join us live. I've been talking to Ametus. Ametus had opportunity to get a scholarship and a visa to study in the US. He has studied in Canada. He has also studied in Germany. So did you ever had any visa denial because you got a visa approved to the US, you got a visa approved to Canada, the study permit approved to Canada, and also a visa to Denmark and then Germany? How did you do it? What was the magic?
Yeah, for me, I'll say yes. This is maybe, let's say, as a Christian, I'll say also to the glory of God,
Right.
because yeah, for me, not to say that people who have had rejections are not maybe like are relegated, but at least
Mhm.
from my experience, I've never had a visa rejection before. Yeah, I may also say that also largely also part of my younger experience where I traveled to Scotland, so I have built the travel history. So yes, it wasn't so much. And I even remember when I was coming to Germany at the time, I had an internship with the United Nations.
Okay.
So even the consular was confused. Should we give you a visa as a United Nations staff, or we should give you a visa as an Erasmus Mundus, that is the European child program? Then I was like, okay, it's left to your own judgment. So judge, and so it's kind of for me and visa. It has been kind of like, yeah, good, and I thank God for that. But I think, yeah, basically.
Right. So if you were supposed to start this whole study abroad process again, what do you think you would change? What would you do differently?
Yeah, for me, I think the kind of mindset that I approached it, yes, although I was really informed, like in terms of studying abroad, but I didn't really take my time to get so much information. And that is, applying to trade schools, it may sound like I just applied to that on purpose, but
Yeah.
actually, these were the schools I knew. These were the
Okay.
schools. Yeah, these were the schools I knew because Ohio Shaibu was there, obviously, and
Mhm.
Shaibu was like a kind of mentor to me. So
Yeah.
it was like, yeah. So I applied to that school and Lethbridge because I actually had a colleague whose brother was studying in Lethbridge. So the person guided me to apply. And actually, Erasmus, there was one guy, there's one guy, shout out to Raphael Owusu. He's been really good to me. He studied conservation biology, and upon getting the Erasmus, because he was there, he also guided me to apply for. So although
Okay.
yes, I knew or I had the idea to study abroad, but I didn't really take my time to sit down and then follow content creators and also study on my own. So I think if I should redo this thing, yes, I have Fred Effect platform. Yes, you have the Study Abroad Hub platform that you can follow for more information, and that will help you to target like precisely, and to also there are also several consultation I think you are offering, and these are very good and they help you to not waste a lot of bullets on an animal you can kill with just one bullet.
The wisdom you're pouring today, you shouldn't waste a lot of bullets on an animal you can kill with just one bullet. Okay. I mean, just a lot of wisdom being poured today, but we still come back to scholarship being better than relationship. I'm quite interested in that. So you can join us. You're still here live on the Fred Effect YouTube platform. We are live on the Fred Effect Facebook page. If you're just joining us, you're not late. We have, close to 1,000 people watching us live now, which I appreciate. So we are live on the TikTok platform, the same name, the Fred Effect. We're also live on Instagram, the Fred Effect. Click on the like button. That's how best you can support the work we do. We are live this and every weekend, and so I bring somebody who have gone through the process, like Amit. Sometimes I bring admissions officers from different universities to show you how you can, study, go about the application process. So if you're joining us, remember to put your video on. I'll bring you live, and then you can ask Amatus all your questions. So Lawrence, I see you in the studio, but you have to put your video on in order for us to be able to interact with you. Lawrence, let me know if you can hear me. So the link is being shared on the Facebook page, on YouTube, and also on Twitter. I also shared it in a comment. All you need to do is to use that link, join us in the studio, and then you can ask your questions. Sharif, what was your question? If you can ask your question again, Sharif says, my question is not answered. Hi, let me know if you can hear me, Lawrence. Lawrence, are you there? Okay, let's see. Hi, Lawrence. Can you please hear me? You have to unmute your microphone so we can hear you. Lawrence still have um, his microphone muted.
No.
Hi, Lawrence. Can you please hear me?
Hi, good evening. Can you hear
Yeah.
me now?
Yes, we can hear you. But if can you put your video on, that would be super amazing. So go ahead with your question. Okay, we lost Lawrence. So Kiki is here. Hi, Kiki. Let me know if you can hear me.
Hello. Yes,
Hi, Kiki. Talk to Amatus.
please. Good evening.
Kiki has network issues. Let's talk to Ken Mega. Hi, Ken Mega. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. So Amitis, network
Please.
issues back home. Hi, Kiki. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes.
All right. F4,
Yeah,
F1.
my phone now.
That one day I don't understand. Anyway,
It means it
go
means
ahead.
it means
Talk.
I'm fine. How about you?
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm also fine. Um, talk to Amitis. Any questions to Amitis?
Well, my name is Sylvester, and I'm currently holding a master's degree in public administration,
Mm.
which I graduated last year. So I have I have applied to, I think so far I've applied to two schools in America. One is University of Missouri St. Louis,
Hmm.
and the other school is University of Michigan.
Okay.
So with regards to University of Missouri St. Louis, I've heard from them. I first of all sent them an email, making inquiries like how do I go about their program, what are the deadline and stuff, and I had a great person who assisted me in throughout the process. So I did everything. I submitted my transcript. I paid the application fee, and I waited. So after 4 weeks, they got back to me and they were like, my admission was denied. So unfortunately, I was like, okay. I still kept on trying, and I just spoke to someone, and the person introduced you to me, which is the Fred effect, and I really want to know more about how to go about it. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's okay that you applied to some, you made some applications, just like Amity spoke about, it's possible to get some denials, but we live to try again. And so I would encourage you to, this time around, not limit yourself to only one program. So the fact that you have a master's in public administration does not necessarily mean that you should only focus on only public administration. What was your undergraduate in? If you can unmute your microphone and answer me. What was your undergraduate in? If your microphone is muted, what was your
Okay, I
undergraduate
think
in?
okay. So my undergraduate course were I majored in religious studies as one, and my minor
Okay.
course was
All right. So, and then you applied for a master's in public administration. So the fact that you were able to use the religious studies to get into public administration, it means that you can switch to any other field. So I would encourage you to, one, try a second master's degree, two, and a direct PhD. So if you look at the school that I just graduated from, we have a PhD in public policy and administration. That's another program. So don't limit yourself to only public administration, and don't only limit yourself to PhD programs. You can look at a second master's and also a PhD as well. I don't know if I made to see have anything to add to that.
I think basically you've done everything. You've answered the question. Like for example, when I graduated with my double MSc degree from the
Right.
Erasmus program, and I was looking for the next option. I applied for PhD programs, and I equally applied for the master's program in agricultural economics at the University of Saskatchewan. And I happened to get the master's program, so I used that as a hideout to plan well and then launch another attack on the PhD, and I was successful in the process. So yes, so sometimes you may have a master's, you can apply for another master's, not necessarily because maybe you just want to decorate yourself with a lot of masters, but maybe as a hideout strategy to be able to plan and launch another attack on what actually you want.
All right, let's talk to Kiki. Kiki, let's see if we can hear you now. I think you're trying, but your network has not been favorable today. All right, Clement, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Good evening.
yeah. Please go ahead,
Uh,
Clement.
yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much for this insightful session. I've been a follower all this while.
I
Yes,
appreciate
like you didn't. I've gotten a lot of rejections this year, so
that.
much.
Right.
But my question is, but I apply only to the US, though I'm still waiting on one school. Though I had one with that is MS in Wayne State, but no funding, and that has been a big problem. I have followed all the measures you kept on your videos, but
Oh man, we are losing Clement. Okay, maybe there's network issue. So
Yeah.
let's see.
And
Eben, you're on. If you could put your video on, that would be great. Ebenezer Anchi, if you can also unmute your microphone. Hi, Eben. Okay, Eben is not able to join us as well, and Clement had network issues. So, Amit is in such a situation where people he's putting in applications and getting rejections. What do you suggest?
well, I think maybe there's, sometimes there may be something you are not getting right that maybe will be leading to the denial. And for me, I think the Fred Effect team is doing well, like, maybe booking a consultation or for further examination, I think we'll be able to fish out what exactly is wrong. But if maybe he's doing everything right and he's getting the rejection, I think he should continue trying. He should
Right.
continue trying. And there are some people who also get maybe admission to the US without funding. For me, if you can go through the visa application and be successful in it, I think it also worth giving it a shot, going and then because I know a couple of people that they had admissions without scholarship, but upon getting to the school, they actually goes to the program coordinator and explain their situation, and for something worked out for them. So once if you get the admission and you think you can get a financial statement to move through the visa application process, it's also good to also embark on it.
All right. Let's see if we can talk to Steven. Hi, Steven. Let me know if you can hear me. All right, Steven, there's so much noise at the background. If you can do something about it, we can bring you back. The noise at the background is not helpful. All right, so Steven was not able to join. So yeah, mostly if not all admissions automatically come with scholarships. So if you have admission without a scholarship, no problem. I would highly encourage you to, I made a video that I was explaining about 10 different pathways you could use to fund your education once you have admission without a scholarship. So let's see if we can talk to Hayford Newman. Hi, Hayford.
Hi.
Let me know. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me. Please go ahead. You have a question for me, too.
Yes, please. I have a question. I graduated in K University. That was last year with first class, and then you see, for Ametus, for them they were using is it CGPA, the GPA, but for us we are using the CWA, which is quite different from the SEA. So I actually want to know how is it? Should I pay and then for them to convert it into the GPA before applying, or I should apply straight for it? Because at the moment, I'm working on applying for Kansas State University, and then actually I want to go into soil science, but I want to know whether converting it into the GPA using maybe the World Education Service will help or not, or I should wait a bit.
All right. So what happens is that when it comes to KNUST is a popular school. No, you are not. KNUST is not the only school that uses CWA. Again, you're not the only person from KNUST to apply for admissions and scholarship in the US. So normally, most of the application portals will simply ask you to upload your transcript and not necessarily to type your CGPA. Again, there are websites like Scholaro and WES IGPA calculator that can help you convert the CWA into a CGPA, even if the university is asking you to, type in your CGPA and yours is CW, you can easily convert it. But when it comes to the WES evaluation, there are some universities that will strictly require that whether you have a CGPA, CWA, whatever, you need to go through the evaluation process before they can consider your transcript for admission. However, the schools that myself and Amitus applied to, High University, did not require evaluation. My current university that I just graduated from did not require evaluation. There are some schools like Indiana University Bloomington that even if you submit the worst evaluated transcript, they will tell you that no, they want the original transcript. They don't want the evaluation, right? So if you can afford to evaluate your transcript, absolutely fine. It gives you an opportunity to apply to some schools that will not take the that
All
would take the
evaluated
original
transcript.
transcript. Exactly. But there are a lot of universities, if you cannot afford the evaluation, there are a lot of universities that you can apply to without having to go through the evaluation.
And then my second question is that is it necessarily for you to stick to one particular course? Because my should I say passion, I want to actually be into soil science, and then that is what I want to do. So as my senior brother Metus was saying, as you said, one of the guys complained that he has applied for a school, and then you were advising him to actually try different programs. So I'm also asking whether, aside the soil science, that most of the schools that I've seen, I'm not seeing the soil science except through the schools that I've searched, Oregon State University, that you see the soil science, but most of them I'm seeing crop and water science, environmental and soil science. So, but since it is related, I've decided that I'm going for that. So
All right. I mean, just if you can respond to that.
Yeah, I think personally, when I was at the university, I had the aim to become a financial economist. But here come, I am now a forester. So sometimes having like a rigid, don't let me use that word, but sometimes, having a predefined interest sometimes limits your opportunities. So as a soil scientist, there are several programs that you can apply for, even including forestry, because forest and soil obviously are like they sleep on the same pair. So these are programs that you can apply for. Sometimes it's good to know your interest and pursue it, but sometimes if you think you are having limited options, you shouldn't stay because you are not having options in your interest. You should look out for other options. Then at the end of the day, maybe you can get those options as a hideout and then try to plan how to go about it. Because I did economics. I went to University of Copenhagen in Denmark to do forest and livelihood. I proceeded to Technical University of Belgium to do MSc in forest management. I went to Canada to do MSc in agricultural economics, and I am back to forest management for the PhD. So you shouldn't limit yourself. There are a lot of things that you can do. So yeah, I think don't limit yourself to only soil science. There are other related programs like climate adaptation programs, especially also in Germany, forest science and other stuffs, these are all good that you can.
Hayford, thank you for joining us. We have two other people joining us live in the studio. Remember that the link is being shared in the comments. You can also join us. I also type them in the on YouTube, on Facebook, and also on X. So you can click on that link, join us, just like Ivy and Neftali is joining us live in the studio. And you can also directly ask your questions. So Ivy, please go ahead. Amit is listening.
Good evening.
Go ahead. We can hear you.
Sir, my question is, I've gained admission at Carolina University, but I had a special scholarship.
Okay, Ivy, I'm sorry. There is a bit of, because we're on social media, there's a bit of sound coming from the background. If you can, limit that, we'll be able to get you on. I'm sorry about that. There's some sound coming from the background, so it's not helping. Naftali, please go ahead. You have the floor.
Okay, please, good evening. I just graduated with my listen in community-based rehabilitation and disability studies. My question is, I learned most university in US admit students for straight PhD. So I want to ask if that is possible.
Yeah, sure. That's highly possible. You can use your bachelor's degree to apply directly into a PhD, and mostly because the PhD has very good scholarships, I would highly recommend you do that. So yes, you can actually apply directly into a PhD program.
And please, Mr. Fred, I would also like to inquire if one want to be on your subscribers page, how do we go about that?
Yeah, so the link is actually rolling on the screen. So for my WhatsApp page, the WhatsApp page is purely for people who are preparing for visa interview. So there are people who have gone through the process. But when it comes to you who want to start, the link is on the screen. We can use it to schedule a private one-on-one conversation, and then my team will be happy to assist you through that. So yeah, basically that's it. All right, thank you so much. This is the link you can use to schedule. Ivy is back. Ivy, you just have to make sure that the sound coming from the background wouldn't be distractive. Sadiq, go ahead. Amit is listening.
Thank you very much. Today I watched one of Amit's video
Sadiq, you need to
where
speak up a little bit. For some reason, we cannot hear you.
okay, I said thank you very much. Today I watched one of Amit's video and it was my first time watching his video. And
Amit, I don't know if you can hear him.
I cannot hear him.
Okay. So sorry about that, Sadiq. Let's talk to Ivy now. Hi, Ivy.
Okay, Fred. Um,
No. Sadiq, let's see if we can hear you now. Ivy, I'm sorry.
Okay.
There's some sound at the background. It's not helping. Okay, if you're able to fix that, we get to talk. Let's talk to Kiki. Hi, Kiki. Welcome back. So,
Thank you. Thank you,
okay,
Mr. Fred.
this is better. Talk to Amitus.
Okay. Oh, actually, I wanted to talk to you in person. Yeah. The other time I spoke with you that I want to book an appointment with you, so I'm going for my document and preparation stuff. But when I went to my school, actually, I was having two gap years. I deferred my course two times, and then one of the internship I didn't do it, so there was still F. And I spoke to the school. They said unless around September, October, there before they would do the internship. And I want to ask if I should go ahead and take the transcript, or I should just wait and write and do the internship before I take the transcripts. That is why I'm calling.
Yeah, so you have to take your time and gather all the documents required before we can begin.
Okay.
All right, let's talk to Nelson. Nelson, you have the floor now. Kindly unmute your microphone and go ahead, sir.
Yeah, greetings, Fred, and greetings, Amitus. Thanks for all the sharing and the inspiring words. Fred, I would just like to ask about visa application, the visa fee, because I missed out something some few days ago when we were discussing. Yeah, it's possible to apply for visa fee without your DS-160. Is it possible, and how should I go about that?
Yeah, so it depends on the country in which you're applying. So when you have to rather start the DS-160 so that you get what we call the DS-160 confirmation number, the number that begins with AA00, and then you can use that to create the appointment portal. You need to pay for the visa application fee, and you'll be able to select a date. Later on, you can take your time and review the DS-160 and make sure that you do the right thing before you submit. So without it, no, you have to start. When you start, you get a DS-160 confirmation number. The number will help you now to schedule a date, and then later on you can complete it. You have a second question, Nelson. Okay, let's talk to Chidema. I like your name. Kindly unmute your microphone and go ahead.
Hello, good evening from
Hi, good
um
evening, Chidema.
evening from first evening. It's my first time here, so thank you so much for all the encouraging everything. Thank you. My question is actually about the scholarship of the thing. I think this thing wants to bring out my head down. The scholarship of a thing is really difficult because I don't know. I'm actually new to this. Let me start from there. So, and then they said send cold emails to professors, and then wait for their reply and all of those processes. And then sometimes you send messages and they don't reply. So talking about sending to graduate program coordinators, you said it was better to talk to them than actually sending to the professors. I don't know whether if that what you mean. And then second question was actually about I did human anatomy, and I think I have not seen anybody in this area since I started this process, both anything in health. So now going to my masters, it's actually difficult because most times most schools are actually doing masters under School of Medicine, which is actually I don't know how to navigate that place because before I was actually using biology to apply. I said biology is okay, I could do biology, but I had to realize that biology is not my field actually. So what I did is an advanced biology, so not biology. So going to apply biology, I don't know how to coordinate it. I don't even know where to start from and where to go from. Please, can somebody just give me a small minute of heads up? Let me know where I'm heading to. This is crazy.
Amitis, you begin and then I'll continue from there.
Yeah, I think I made a statement that sometimes sending the emails to the program coordinators or sometimes scouting out for professors, some will respond, but sometimes majority of them will not respond. Now, if the program do not require that you have a supervisor before applying for the program. I'm saying that because of my experience in Canada, where most of the programs will require that you have a supervisor who actually writes like a recommendation letter that you attach to the application saying that like you come under. But if that is not a requirement, you can just send the mail, whether they respond or not. It is just a trick to get your name registered to whoever you send the email. Especially for me, mostly I target the program coordinators. So some you receive a response, some you will not receive response. But do not receiving response doesn't mean necessarily means that the person have not read your email. So sometimes, but in most cases too, others just start without even contacting anybody. They apply and they are successful. So it is not like just, let's say, a silver bullet way to doing it. So but I just say that because sometimes to per my experience, it has also worked out quite successfully for me. And also regarding your application to human anatomy and other stuff, I think maybe if you are not really seeing so much direct program or so much related program to what you are doing, at least you can also, if you are not seeing direct programs that you want to take in human anatomy, you can also look out for, let's say, related programs like that's you are qualified to apply for. I think that is also one of the ways. Sometimes, there are some programs that if you want them directly, sometimes it's a bit difficult. But if you look out for related programs, for example, I did economics at the bachelor's and I used the economics to apply for forestry. Why? Because I know that there's economics aspect of forestry because forest has to do with trees and management, social management. And these are a lot of economic drivers behind the scene that drives this thing. So, from economics, then I branch into forestry. And then I use the forestry to go into agricultural economics because agriculture and forest, they are very related. And then I came out from agricultural economics back into forestry. So you see how I'm playing the cards around. So sometimes I think that is also one how you can also like play your cards around. And yeah, to set for universities, like I think if you want to focus on Germany or Canada, I have a comprehensive video on how to look out for these programs and the related programs in Germany and Canada. But I think Fred will also have more like voice on this.
Yeah, thank you, bro Ametis. So Chidema, what is your bachelor's degree in?
Human anatomy.
Okay. It was a 4-year bachelor's degree, straight 4-year bachelor's degree. Do you have a pen and a paper? The suggestions I'm going to give you, probably when we're done, you wouldn't need any. You first of all, you have to understand that, and everybody listening to us, it's highly possible. Normally, if you don't know how to solve maybe a mathematical problem, you think that math is difficult. There is always a way out. So, Chidem, I'm still waiting for you. All right, you have a pen and a paper now.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so it's good that my brother mentioned we can look at other related programs. So with we can apply to one a master's or a PhD in physiology. We
Okay.
can also look at anatomy, master of science in anatomy. We can look at biomedical science. We can look
Okay.
at human biology, and then we can also apply to medical anatomy. So when you visit the university's website, you have to look out for related programs. So apart from what you have, you don't only have to focus on that, like my brother said. So we can also look at any related program, and these are some of the programs we can look at. Now listen, when it comes to sending an email, one, I would really wish to see the content of your email. I mean, if I go back and look at some of the emails I sent to high university, they shouldn't have even given me admission because back then we were doing things blindly. Over here, if you type in capital letters, it means you are shouting. There is a way to go about email that will make them respond. And understand that not every professor will be able to respond to your email. So one, if you write the email, some people even write the whole content of the email in the subject. Some people also write an email without a subject at all. So you need to do it properly. I'll be happy to review your emails for you before you send. Now, if you're also sending emails, don't ask questions that has already been answered on the university's website because it means that you don't want to read. It means you are lazy. So nobody will respond to you. And again, Ametus was saying that target the head of the department. You don't necessarily always have to secure a supervisor before you start. So every department has faculty members. Some people advise you send a cold email to a professor. It doesn't work like that. Talk to the head of department or the HOD or the overall boss. Now, if they require you to secure a supervisor, they will let you know. So the overall boss, you are keeping your message very short. Like yourself, if somebody writes a long email, you not even read, let alone to respond. So don't write a very lengthy email. Keep it short. Ask very relevant questions. Share a copy of your transcript and email and your CV with this professor before you send the email. And just like I said, I'll be happy to read through your email. Maybe because of the content, that's why you're not responding. Now let's break it down. When it comes to emailing, most of these professors have what we call institutional or professional email address. Like myself, my institutional email. If you send me a normal email with a Gmail or Yahoo mail, because of the security system in the university system, I will not even see it. It goes straight to my spam box. So sometimes they don't see it. It's not your fault. It's because you're using a Gmail or Yahoo mail. And because of security reasons, some of the university emails are designed such a way that if the email is not coming from internal or an institutional email, doesn't get to them. The second thing is that some professors are on vacation. Sometimes you go to a university's website, it's abroad, all right, but most of the information are not updated. So they are not even seeing your email, just like my brother is talking about. So there are a couple of reasons why your email may not be responded to. Again, don't send 1, 2, 3, 4 emails and see that the professors are not responding. You have to send as many as possible because there are a lot of factors why they will not even see your email, let alone some of them responding. And so you need to send as many as possible. Again, don't limit yourself to only one program. Now, let me give you some list of schools that you can target. So with the programs that I just mentioned, there are a lot of universities. And, in terms of the US, you want to target public funded universities, except maybe some few circumstances that you want to go in for private universities, especially for PhD. But for a good scholarship, target the public funded universities. Please keep your email very short. Introduce yourself academically. Don't forget that an email should have a subject. If you're attaching a document, mention that document in the email before you send it. Don't write an email as if you're typing a WhatsApp message. It doesn't work like that. Get somebody to go through for you before you send it. So you can look at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center. And even with your field, you can still look at public health. You can look at so I mentioned University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center. You can look at Boston University. It's also located in Massachusetts. You can look at University of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. I'm in Ohio, so Pennsylvania is close to me. You can look at Emory University, Emory, Emory University. You can look at University of California at Davis, so UC at Davis, Davis. You can look at University of Washington. You can also look at University of Health Science Center, University of Tennessee Health Science Center, so UTHSC, University of Tennessee Health Science Center. You can look at University of Texas Health. Chidema, today you have to pay me. Amit is up done. We are gone. So this should be okay for you. Anyway, we move on to the next person. Let's see who is next. So Alusen, how do you pronounce your name, bro?
Yeah, I'll Sabab Sinkoma from Sierra Leone.
Nice. Talk to our mates, bro.
Yeah, how are you, bros? Thanks to your channel, actually, someone introduced me to your channel lately. I've been to this study program for some time now on my own, but I've been denied twice. I denied visa twice. So, but that was on self-sponsor, actually. But I've decided to go in for fully funded scholarship this time around. And I want to ask if I can continue to apply in the US, or probably I can try other countries as well, because I've denied twice. Recently, I got denied in April. So I don't know if I still can continue to apply in the US, or probably I can try other countries like Canada or Germany. So that's my question, sir.
Amit, just please go on.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. It's quite unfortunate, but it's all part of the game, once you get denial and you succeed in one, it spices up your story as an inspirational story, like we also have. Now, you can continue. Please don't give up. Once you've decided to embark on this journey, please don't let anything scare you. You know, I know people who have gone in for US visa interview, they've been denied twice. On the third time, it was granted. So don't let that scare you. Please continue your application for also full scholarship. Now, if you also want to apply for programs in Germany, you know, Germany to get here as a student, there are three major routes. Number one, you can come with the self financing, but because we have tuition free here in Germany, so it's very easy. I think once you apply to get maybe self funding student, the only thing you have to do is to create a block account and then attach your block account to other documents and then go in for your German visa. You can also target also scholarships schools here in Germany. Also, majority of them also offer scholarships and also other international boards in Germany here that offer scholarship. But don't give up, please. I can see, you know, it's one thing you've really succeeded in getting admission before. So I think building on that experience, now you are not starting from where you started ago. Now you are starting with more experience. So please don't give up. Push out until you get what you want. For me, it's always the ultimate because once you don't get rejection, your story, once you are sharing your stories, like you are that guy who is always succeeding, you will not get much to say. But you face rejection twice, it makes your story very rich.
All right, thank you so much, Amatus. Bobson, thank you for joining us from Sierra Leone. And just like my brother said, keep on keeping on. You'll be fine. Let's talk to Sadek. Sadek, you've been on for some time. Hi, Sadek. Please unmute your microphone and talk to Amatus, sir.
Thank you very much. Please, can you hear me?
We are trying. The sound is very far, but let's see. We'll try.
Hello, is it okay?
Yeah, we can manage this. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fred. I mean, you inspired me when I watched the interview with a Krafu Kradim lady. I mean, that was when the whole journey started because I didn't even dream of. I came from somewhere where I mean, there's no one to even sponsor your education. So thank you very much. And I meet you today. I watched your video interviewing a Rasta guy from Lagos at Saskatchewan. So kudos to you as well. Now, Mr. Fred, my question is, the last time you made a video on how to, do away with this transcript evaluation, and you recommend that you should look at schools that have in-house evaluation. So I did some search and I found Utah University, but they were also recommending another document which I have even forgotten. And I think that with that document I will not do that. So I will plead with you if you can give me some university that probably has an in-house evaluation that I can pursue.
Yeah, okay. So you can look at University of Michigan Flint. University of Michigan Flint. And you know, if you cannot afford the evaluation, no problem. Please target the universities that will not require the evaluation. What qualifications do you have?
I have a bachelor degree in basic education.
Oh, then you know, for you, education is super easy. You know, you can study masters in basic education, education and psychology, higher education, education administration, masters in education itself. You have a broad field, bro. You don't have a problem at all. So if you can't go ahead.
But I had a first class from UCC.
Oh, then from where? UCC?
Yes, yes.
Yes, what be you? Which hallway? You don't say Casper.
So I did a sandwich course, but it was a
Okay.
Baku hall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Baku, close to Nkrumah, you are my neighbor.
All right, Sadiq, you have a good background, so please go ahead. Let's talk to Nathan. Nathan, how you doing, sir?
I'm very fine. Amit is good evening, Fred. Good evening. Amit is already smiling. Okay, so my question goes to I think Fred. Please, I actually DM'd you on IG concerning some strategy you said you would help someone with in securing other assistantships on campus when he was applying and facing rejections. Actually, I didn't ask the question because I'm personally close to Ametu, so most of my questions sometimes get answered via him and all that. You understand? But that particular one, I DM'd you and I've not had any reply, so I decided to come for the meet here. So
what was exactly the question?
So it was about the gentleman applying to various assistantships on campus. These GAs that are not necessarily in the departments for which you are reading the program from. Yes. So, and the guy was saying that he had various rejections for which I've applied to a number of GAs on campus. As it stands, I have about 4 admissions. But I'm still pending GA decision. So whilst I'm waiting for the one from the department, I'm trying to see whether I can secure any other. So in case I don't get the one from the department, I have those ones to back it up. But when I messaged you,
So
I didn't get a feedback.
which university do you hold admissions to at the moment?
So I have admission to Texas Technical. I have admissions to Southern Illinois University Carbondale. I have admissions to South Dakota State University. I have admissions to University of Nebraska Omaha.
Okay, so these are great universities. Now, this is what. So once you put in the applications, this is another strategy. If you could get a financial document, and if you get to Amit, definitely you can get to me. So if you get a
Yes,
financial
sir.
document, what we can do is to be able to send it to these universities and get our I-20. Now, when you get
Okay.
an I-20, you can now talk to the director of the program that you are making efforts in coming. So you don't always have to email them and talk about funding. No, let them know that you are
Okay.
making efforts in joining the program. Now, with the
Okay.
I-20, we can go ahead and secure an interview date. Now, you take, you download the appointment confirmation page, send it to the director, say that you are making efforts in coming. You've even secured
Oh, okay.
an interview date and stuff like that.
Date. Okay.
Remember, if any scholarship becomes available, you are the one they are going to call because they know you're making effort in coming. And Ametis mentioned
Okay.
that you sometimes need to get to campus. And remember, myself and Ametis use the partial scholarship to get a visa approved. So there's no, you shouldn't wait until you can get the funding decision now because you wasted time getting, the visa interview date now becomes a challenge. What happens? You lose the scholarship. So
Yeah,
get a
exactly.
financial statement, get your I-20s from these schools. Let's make progress later.
Sure. Thank you so much, Fred.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So let's talk to another person. Oh, I mean, you had some added wanted to add something?
No, I just wanted to say that you are is so clever in that strategy.
Thank you. Sir. Mission for you. All
Oh, that's all they both of our copy.
right, let's talk to Sylvester. Sylvester, were you with us sometime? Oh, then we have to talk to another person. Let's talk to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, salam alaikum.
Well, Fred.
Yeah, please talk to Amitis.
All right, Fred. I will be very happy if you'll be able to mention some of the schools from underground. Okay, our brothers and sisters who just completed the high schools and are having the intentions to also migrate. So if you could get some.
Ibrahim, if you could be stable, that would be super helpful because you are working, it makes it some way. But if you could be stable you get a stationary position, that will help. Wisdom. Wisdom, please go ahead, sir. Hello, Wisdom. Okay, Wisdom is not okay. Amos, Achu. Amos, you can mute your microphone. Amos, please go on. Okay, Amos, your microphone is muted. Can you please unmute it? Okay, Amos is not able to unmute the microphone. So let's see if you can talk to Joshua. Joshua Kobina, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing very good. Thank you,
Yeah,
Fred, for giving me the opportunity.
right.
I'm Joshua and I'm final year EPC agribusiness student, currently in
Mm-hmm.
my last semester. And I'm someone who is passionate about reading agricultural economics. And then I've started doing my school search. I've searched about 30 schools, and about 90% are requesting for GRE. So as uh, my boss Amit said, he studied at Canada University of Saskatchewan. I've already read through their website, and they were also requesting for GRE. So my question is there any way someone can ask for GRE waiver? Of course, I've also done econometrics, um, mathematical economics, and economics for 2 years and other stuff. So my point is that is there any way that all these GRE that they are requesting that I can request for waiver?
Yeah, Mitch, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Fred. Yes, so I want to tell you one trick I used for University of Saskatchewan. At the time that I was applying to, they also required for this GRE. So I messaged the program coordinator and telling her, this is my transcript, and I've done these programs, but I want to apply for the program and, there is this kind of GRE, but I don't have. So basically, she told me to apply for the program and then write a letter stating why I don't have the GRE. So I have to pull in, of course, from a developing country, I have to pull in financial reasons and to explain my point. And it was waived, and I had the admission. So yes, it's not. Sometimes you will see the GRE like point blank, but sometimes sending your transcripts to the graduate coordinator and then also asking for possible waiver also work out the magic. And also you can also target schools that do not require GRE. And even also here in Germany, we have this kind of DAT programs for agricultural economics, and we have DAT programs for forestry, which, of course, with your econometric or economics background, you are qualified to apply for some of these programs. So I will it's one of the area I'll be creating the Erasmus series on my channel and also the DART series, so that these are some of the juicy scholarship packages that sometimes too we that are not well known, but it's very, very important. It's very, very good. So yes, you can target schools with GRE. Kindly send a message to the graduate coordinator sometimes asking for waiver to see whether the magic will be work. Target schools that do not require for GRE, and also target also related programs. I will say that don't approach this study abroad thing with a fixed mindset that this is what I want and this is what I must get. No, because if you are trying something and it's not working out, it's already an indication that you should try other stuff and see. Maybe the magic lies somewhere. So yes.
Right, let's talk to Desmond. Thank you, Amadeus. Desmond, please unmute your microphone and you can go ahead. So if you also
Please,
want to
can you
join,
hear me?
yeah, sure. Desmond, relax for me. So if you are just joining us, we have close to 1,000 people watching us across our platforms. This is the Fred Effect platform. We are the biggest study abroad content platform. And what we do every weekend is to share with you ideas and information on how you can go about the study abroad process. Today, we are speaking to my brother, Amatus. Amatus is behind, the platform Study Abroad Hub. If you've not subscribed, please go to YouTube, search Study Abroad Hub. He has had opportunity to get a US visa approved and a scholarship as well. He also studied in Canada, studied in Germany, Denmark, and currently doing a PhD in Germany. So he's sharing us with us his journey and his experience. Currently, we are responding to your questions. Remember that you are not late. This information will still be on the Fred Effect platforms. So on YouTube, on Facebook, and also on X, you can check it out and also learn from the ideas, the schools we mentioned, and the information we are sharing here. All right, Desmond, please go on, sir. Okay, I think Desmond is freezing at the moment. So let's talk to another person. Sylvester, okay, let's talk to Achu. Achu, you're back. Welcome. Hi,
Yes,
Achu.
good evening. Yeah,
All
Mr.
right,
Fred,
go
thank
ahead,
you very
Achu.
much for and all right, thank you very much, Mr. Fred and Mr. So I think of Jerry of
Oh
today.
man, we are losing Achu. George, if you could hear us, you can unmute your microphone and go ahead, sir. Your microphone is muted. Please unmute it. Okay, George is also gone. So Amit is let's see, Desmond is unable to come back. George,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
yeah, Fred. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Yeah. Um, I wanted to find out something. I just chanced on your live session. So, my younger brother, he has applied to a school in the US, and he's gotten his I-20. They've asked us to pay for the service number, which after making some inquiries, we realized we cannot pay from here. So I've contacted someone in the US to help me do the payment. Um, I wanted to get in touch with you because go after the service number. I know there are a few things that he needs to get done before he can secure the visa. Yes. So my question is in a way of asking if I could get in touch with you personally so that you can help me or help my brother to go ahead with his admission.
Yeah, so congrats to your brother. Yes, it's easy to get in touch with me if you can send
Okay.
me a message via Instagram. So my Instagram handle is the Fred Effect is verified. So you just have to search for that and then you can send me a message. So yeah, because there's an educational platform, let me clarify something. You don't pay for service number. There's something we call service fee, but you need the service ID number to generate a coupon in order to pay for it. So what you're paying for is what we call the service fee. All right. Thank you very much for joining. Yes, and everyone, it's easy to get in touch with me via Instagram. Send me a direct message. I'll be happy to respond. If you are preparing for a visa interview, my team for like more than half a decade has assisted a lot of people to go through this process. So, all you need to do is to send me a private message. We do mock interviews every day to help you prepare for the interview. Also, I have a collaboration, a connection with Argo Visa, and so these are former visa officers. You can get in touch with them using the link I'm sharing on the screen to schedule a meeting with a former visa officer to help you prepare before you go for your visa interview. If you use this link, you get a 10% off, when you schedule a meeting with them. Let's see if that's one we lost you. So welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Please. I applied for a school in the US, and
I'm sorry, Desmond. There's so much noise at the background. It makes it difficult. Samuel, if you could unmute your microphone, can you please go ahead?
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Please go
In
on.
fact, yes, I watched your interview with Vim Lady. In fact, it has been my heart desire, and I'm working on it to get admission to study abroad. But I haven't made any move now. But you have encouraged me a lot. I want to actually work for it. So as you are giving us education, I think you are enlightening us with those who are trying to pursue education abroad. In fact, this platform has been one of the helpful platform to us, and in fact, we bless you for encouraging us to do a lot. God bless you.
Fred, I think you are muted.
No, this is so inspiring. I'm super happy to hear from you. I think I have to record this and use it for my ringtone, right? Like it's very.
Thank you.
What other language do you speak apart from English?
Okay, I can speak Chi. I can also speak Bemoba.
Okay,
To yeah.
can you use Chi to tell people to follow and subscribe to this channel?
Okay. Channel yɛ channel a ɛboa yɛn mmabunu a yɛpɛ sɛ yɛsua adeɛ wɔ aburokyire. In fact, sɛ yɛde yɛn ho hyɛ dwumadie mu na sɛ wode wokɔ Facebook kɔkɔ search Fred Effect. In fact, me kɔhwɛ no, me go through Facebook ana mo sɛ ɔne Afia Poku a ɛyɛ program ɛna me monitor ya. But me follow yɛn no mahu sɛ ɛyɛ very helpful, very stress free. Nti yɛn a yɛni ɛda so sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛsua adeɛ wɔ aburokyire no, ɛpaatwo sɛ wode kɔ Facebook wokɔ type Fred Effect na follow na join wopa a wobɛtumi like any information bi a ɛbɛba biara no, you also get the update about it. Nti nyame nhyira wo, wowɔ anisoade hunu sɛ wosua adeɛ aburokyire nkwa deɛ a aha ɛbɛma no ayɛ fo ama wo. Nyame nhyira mo.
That's it. Thank you
Nice
so
one.
much.
Nice one.
Nice one. All right. Let's talk to Clement. This month, Charlie, this one, your network, no, your sound at the background. This one.
is it okay now?
Okay, let's manage this
Is
one.
it okay?
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay. Good evening. Please. I've been able to secure admission at University of New Haven, but I got a partial scholarship, and they are requesting that I should submit my bank statement so that they can give me the I-20. But since February, I've been trying my best to find somebody even to help, but I haven't gotten anybody yet. And the school has also sent a message back to me requesting that time is almost gone, so I should try my best to submit the statement so that they can also send me the I-20. So I'm reaching out to you if there is a way that I can get assistance or help in order to secure my I-20. Though I've tried other external scholarships, but I'm not getting it.
All right. So, Desmond, congrats on your admission. And for New Haven, it's a very good school. I know it comes with some merit scholarships as well. So, what you can do is that I made a video explaining the how you can fund your education when you have a partial scholarship or no scholarship after admission. So, one of the means is you can also apply for an educational loan. Once you get the document, you'll be able to use that document to send to the school, and you get your I-20. You know, you can also send me a private message on Instagram to see how we can assist you on that. So, Amenities, I don't know how long you can go, but we've done almost 2 hours now. So let's see if we can sign off. We are sorry if we are not able to pick you up, but Ametus has a YouTube channel. It's called Steady Abroad Hub. Please go to YouTube and subscribe. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I want to refresh and see how many people have already joined. Good. We are now 1.4K, which is awesome. So, Ametus, your final words to anyone watching us, or who is being inspired by your story, and any final words to anybody.
Yeah, thank you once again, Mr. Fred, for the opportunity to be on your channel. And before we end this section, I also want to thank the lecturers in the School of Economics UCC, especially Dr. Asma, Dr. Andor, Dr. Nkansa, and Dr. Dasmani and the rest. That we really thank them for giving us the guidance that we needed, and for Dr. Asma and Dr. Andor stepping in even for me at the time that I was very weak in terms of getting the financial support to apply for my visa and what have you. They really played a key role. So for me, I think one thing that we should put in mind is that this journey to study abroad comes with a lot of challenges. You will definitely receive some rejections along the way, and sometimes you feel like giving up. But there is one message that I heard is that actually I'm not a lady, but I heard that the point of birth where it is most painful is the point where the child begins, or the child is coming out. So, which means that at the point that you reach and you think that all hope is gone and you are about giving up, I think you are about landing a scholarship and then maybe an admission and a scholarship. So you shouldn't give up or you shouldn't be shaken by the rejections that you receive and the future and the challenges that you will encounter. I think once you succeed in landing one, it's compensate for all the stress that you've gone through. And also, please try to also take information from the Fred Effect and also from the Study Abroad Hub, where I focus more on how to get scholarship in Germany and also in Canada. And very soon I'll be starting the Erasmus Mundus series and then the DEED, which is a DAD scholarship series. I think this will be very informative. And also, please don't be rigid towards or to the program, or don't be skewed to the program that you read at the bachelor's. There are other related programs that you can apply for. So scout out for this kind of related programs and then make sure that you get everything intact. I've made a comprehensive video on how to apply for or how to write a compelling motivational statement, the basic mistakes that most people make that leads to rejections. And also, I'll be uploading a video soon on how to write, we call it letter of interest, because sometimes writing to the graduate coordinator, like Fred, you said, some people just write it like they're writing a WhatsApp message. So they will not mind you. but there's a way to go by. We call the letter of interest, and it's especially applicable for people applying for masters and the PhD. The letter of interest is very, very, very crucial. That is, if you are applying for a program and they want you to get a supervisor, there's a way to write it. It's different from the motivational statement. So I'll be uploading a video on that very soon. So yes, I think you are very fortunate to have the Fred Effect, the biggest study abroad platform. And then some of us are complementing or supplementing the information, focusing on other countries. So I think, yes, this time it's a global village, not because you can roam through the whole world, but it's a global village because by a click you can get information across the world that you want. So make use of this information era and you will go through it successfully. Yeah, thank you.
Great, Amit. So finally, how do people get in touch with you?
So yes, you can write to me on Facebook. It's Amit Schoolwill, like my personal Facebook account, and you can also get to me via X, which is formerly Twitter, and also you can. I think in most of my videos too, I put my emails at the video description section, so you can just send me a direct email, and I think I will do it. Always respond to the messages that you send.
Bro, it's we've been having it's been like a brotherhood from day one since we met in UCC. So I appreciate you for pulling up, and God bless you for the experiences and ideas you've shared with our brothers and sisters who are watching us. And please subscribe to the Fred Effect, and also the Steady Abroad Hub YouTube platform. So bro, thank you very much. It's been very inspiring. And you said at the point where you are delivering and there is pain, that is where the baby is coming out. I've really taken that one. So thank you so much, bro, for coming on. So it's been another insightful session. My name is Fred. This has been the Fred Effect. Always what I want you to understand is that you have to be positive and everything will be fine. My brother Amit said that at the point where you feel like giving up, at the point where it's very painful when you are delivering, that is where the baby is also coming out. It is highly possible you can do it. It's okay to get some rejections. It's okay to go for a visa interview and get denied. But understand that it is highly possible. If Amitus was able to do it, you can do it. If the Fred Effect was able to do it, you can also do it. So remember that my team handles applications for free for individuals with high school and diploma qualification. So if you have a diploma, you have a high school qualification, even if you have a D7, don't give up. If you some of your results were cancelled or withheld, F9, no problem. Get in touch with my team. You schedule a private one-on-one conversation, and the link is rolling on the screen, so you can use that, and we schedule a private 30-minute conversation. We explain the entire process to you. We take your document and we help you with the application. If you're interested in a PhD or a master's degree application, we have the mentorship program, the Fred Effect mentorship program, where we'll guide you through the entire process. It's a weekly meeting until your visa is approved. So we guide you through the entire process to help you with what school to apply, to review the documents you need to use to work on the application, your CV. Also go through the application portal before you finally submit it. You need a mentor if you want to do this process very well. And also this and every for like 5 years, for more than half a decade, my team has been having what we call the Fred Effect mock interview session, where individuals who have already been scheduled for an interview, we guide you and prepare you, organize a mock interview for you until you get your visa approved. So if you want to join this platform, you can send me a WhatsApp platform. You can send me a direct message on Instagram. So it's the Fred Effect across all the platforms. So on Instagram, the Fred Effect account is verified. So you just have to send me a message letting me know that you have a date scheduled, and request that we add you to the WhatsApp group so that you can also interact with other people and prepare for your visa interview. Understand that it might be challenging, it might be difficult, but it's possible. My name is Fred. This has been the Fred Effect. If you also want to talk to a former visa officer before you prepare for your visa interview, the Fred Effect has a collaboration with Argo Visa. So you can use the link on the screen to schedule a meeting. Next week, I'm talking to another inspiring lady who was able to also secure a full scholarship to study in the US. And so join us next week, and be inspired, be encouraged, know that it's highly possible. My name is Fred. This has been the Fred Effect. Please be positive and know that everything will be fine. I'll see you in another video.